EastEnders Natalie Cassidy fumes as private conversation leaked on Loose Women. EastEnders icon Natalie Cassidy appeared totally stunned when Loose Women host Charlene White revealed details of their private, behind-the-scenes chat on live TV. Natalie joined the ITV daytime favorite as a guest panelist and dished some exclusive behind-the-scenes secrets about the acting guidance she received from Walford heavyweights like the legendary Dame Barbara Windsor and June Brown. Natalie opened up with genuine emotion. "Barbara, on a professional level, really helped me. She was straight to the point. She instilled in me the importance of things like punctuality, politeness, kindness. And most importantly, being thoroughly prepared by always knowing your lines and deeply appreciating your role," expressed Natalie, taking the audience through her invaluable lessons. As the audience showed their appreciation with buzzing applause, Charlene quickly interjected with a revealing comment. She could let you know she wasn't happy with just one look if you came in after a big night out when you were working the next day. This prompted Natalie to retort sharply, "Thank you for that. It was a private conversation in the green room." Despite the little on-air call-out, Natalie, who is one of EastEnders' best-known characters after first appearing on the hit BBC soap 30 years ago, laughed it off and proceeded to spill more tea about the light-hearted scolding she sometimes endured from Barbara. Looking back fondly, she shared a mischievous anecdote. "I remember going out with H from Steps one night. It could have been in the early 2000s or maybe the very late 90s. The next day at work, there I was, splashed across newspapers. In those days, that was a huge deal for us EastEnders." She continued, "I remember walking past and seeing Barbara with a paper. She was like, 'Morning,' I was like, 'I have been out but I am on time.' But I don't think I ever did it again. I never went out on a school night ever again." Charlene chimed in, "It's keeping you in line without saying a word," as Natalie confessed that Barbara was amazing. June Brown, however, concentrated on providing Natalie with acting tips. Hers was more about the craft and the acting. She'd always say, "Darling, that sounds so boring." She'd say, "Every line is a song. Think about how you say things, don't be too monotone, and listening is better than reacting." "I'm so grateful for them." Charlene then asked, "I know you don't see yourself as a soap legend but you absolutely are an EastEnders icon. So in your role, do you offer the younger members of the crew any pearls of wisdom?" Natalie responded, "They're so good. They're better than we were. They're not out drinking all night, they're meditating or discussing their sleep. I just tell them what I learned. Be kind to people, learn people's names, know the crew." EastEnders icon refuses to feel guilty about kid-free time and deciding to take on a nanny. EastEnders star Natalie Cassidy has opened up about her life as a busy mom and how she's totally okay with getting a nanny to help out. On her podcast, Life with Nat, the 41-year-old actress got real about balancing her family life with partner Mark Humphries and their kids, and why having a nanny is a game-changer for her. The Sonia Fowler actress didn't shy away from sharing her self-care secrets, emphasizing the importance of personal happiness. "I think you should be happy, and I think the more that you do what you want to do, the happier a mum you are," she expressed to her listeners. She dished on her strategy for some alone time, saying, "I love time to myself. I love having a nap. I don't feel guilty. There are some days when I've got extra hours for my nanny." The soap star revealed her guilt-free approach to me time. "If I've got a day when I could be at home, I will book my nanny in and I will go to an art gallery, or I will do something on my own, or see someone. I have no guilt for that, no guilt." Natalie also touched on how her priorities shift depending on her schedule. "I mean, it hasn't happened lately. I've been super busy, and then what happens is the list of priority changes." She explained her ideal balance. "When I'm not so busy and it's sort of 40% work, I then go, I'll have 40% kids, and I want 20% of my time." Previously, Natalie got personal about her relationship with Mark on Kate Thornton's White Wine Question Time podcast, where she confessed they kept their romance low-key initially due to concerns about their jobs, as they both worked on EastEnders. She revealed, "With Mark, I did worry about the working situation very early on. So, we started seeing each other without anybody knowing for quite a while, 6 to 8 months. And then once we knew, we wanted to make it public at work." She revealed, "With Mark, I did worry about the working situation very early on. So, we started seeing each other without anybody knowing for quite a while, 6 to 8 months. And then once we knew, we wanted to make it public at work. He was worried about his job, crew, cast, what's it going to be? And then I actually called a meeting with his boss. Everyone was a bit like, "What is this about?" And I went into a room and said, "I just want everyone to know that I'm seeing Mark Humphreys. He's a cameraman who works here. I want you to know that it's not just a silly little thing. It's professional and we'll be professional, but I want you to know that it's really serious and I don't want to hear any more about it." Ricky Gervais casts Natalie Cassidy in upcoming animated comedy. Ricky Gervais has reportedly cast Natalie Cassidy in his upcoming animated series. The 63-year-old star is working on his first major program since Afterlife took Netflix by storm, and the EastEnders star is said to be lending her voice to the show, which will be about cats. As reported by the Sun newspaper's TV Biz column, a recording session was held last week in London and Natalie is on board. A source said, "The project is still in its early stages, but Ricky is super excited as he's always wanted to make a show about cats. He's a big animal lover, so mixing comedy and pets is an ideal combination. And with his star cast on board, it's bound to be hilarious." As well as Natalie, the cast is expected to feature big names from his previous projects, after Ricky shared a picture of the cast including Carey Goldleman and Diane Morgan inside a studio. Plot details are being kept under wraps for the project, which is set to land on Netflix as part of Ricky's exclusive deal with the streaming platform. BBC bosses are letting Natalie take part as there is no scheduling clash, while she has long wanted to star in one of the comedian's shows. Last year, she joined Derek and Afterlife stars David Earl and Joe Wilkinson on the Chatterbox podcast and said, "It's my dream. I watch Afterlife and Derek, and I'm like, why haven't I done that? Why can't I be on things like that?" News of the feline project comes after Ricky laid into the Cats musical movie adaptation during the 2020 Golden Globes. As well as taking aim at leading man James Corden, he referenced the film's shocking reviews, adding, "I saw one that said this is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs." Well as Natalie, the cast is expected to feature big names from his previous projects, after Ricky shared a picture of the cast including Carey Goldleman and Diane Morgan inside a studio. Plot details are being kept under wraps for the project, which is set to land on Netflix as part of Ricky's exclusive deal with the streaming platform. BBC bosses are letting Natalie take part as there is no scheduling clash, while she has long wanted to star in one of the comedian's shows. Last year, she joined Derek and Afterlife stars David Earl and Joe Wilkinson on the Chatterbox podcast and said, "It's my dream. I watch Afterlife and Derek, and I'm like, why haven't I done that? Why can't I be on things like that?" News of the feline project comes after Ricky laid into the Cats musical movie adaptation during the 2020 Golden Globes. As well as taking aim at leading man James Corden, he referenced the film's shocking reviews, adding, "I saw one that said this is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs."